Hey everyone, and welcome back. Today we're going on a deep dive into something pretty fascinating. It's called eudaimonia,
Okay.
and it's all about living a really fulfilling life. Like not just that fleeting happiness, but more like a deep sense of purpose and meaning,
Yeah.
you know?
Exactly.
Our guide for this deep dive is going to be this book called Mature Learning. It's written by a Japanese author, and get this, he's earned something like 133 certifications and degrees from like 7 universities.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so this guy clearly knows a thing or two about lifelong learning.
That's dedication.
So what I'm curious about is how does mature learning connect adult learning to this idea of eudaimonia?
Well, the book argues that true happiness, it doesn't come from like external achievements or, possessions.
Right.
It comes from developing our inner potential and then using our talents to make a positive impact on the world.
I'm starting to see the connection here.
Yeah, and it lays out like a really practical 4-stage path towards eudaimonia.
4 stages. Okay, I'm intrigued. Lay it on me.
All right, so stage 1 is securing a stable income.
Okay.
Now, this isn't about becoming a millionaire or anything. It's
Yeah.
more about having enough financial freedom so you can pursue your passions without constantly worrying about money,
Yeah, that makes sense. Like if you're always stressed about money, it's really hard to focus on anything else.
Precisely. Yeah. Financial stability, it provides like the foundation upon which you could build the rest of your life.
I like that.
Stage 2 is all about cultivating resilience.
Resilience. Okay,
Yeah.
that's a big one.
It is a huge one. The world is full of setbacks, disappointments, and just plain old bad luck. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Resilience is about developing the mental toughness to bounce back from those challenges, to keep going even when things get tough.
Yeah, I think a lot of us struggle with that. Like we hit a roadblock and we immediately think, well, I guess this isn't for me.
I think that's a really natural human response.
Yeah.
But the book argues that resilience, it's like a muscle. The more you exercise it, the stronger it gets.
Yeah.
And that strength is essential for navigating the inevitable ups and downs of life.
I like that analogy.
So we've got financial stability, we've got resilience. What's next on this path to eudaimonia?
I'm ready for stage 3. Hit me.
Stage 3 is where adult learning really takes center stage.
Okay.
It's about honing your unique skills, devoting yourself to mastering something challenging and meaningful to you.
So this isn't just about learning for the sake of learning.
Yeah.
It has to be something that you're passionate about, something that truly resonates with you.
Absolutely. The book emphasizes that it should be something that requires effort.
Yeah.
Something you can't just pick up overnight.
Right.
Think of it as like developing a craft,
Yeah.
an expertise that sets you apart.
Okay, so I'm picturing someone dedicating themselves to becoming like a master chef or a skilled programmer or a talented musician.
Yes.
Something that pushes them to grow and become the best version of themselves.
Exactly.
I love it.
And the final stage is where it all comes together,
Yeah.
contributing to society. Once you've developed your talents, it's time to share them with the world and make a positive impact.
So it's not just about self-improvement then.
Yeah.
It's about using those skills to make a real difference.
Yes.
I like.
It's like this ripple effect.
Yeah.
You invest in yourself, you master a skill, and then you use it to benefit others.
Yeah. It's beautiful.
Precisely. It's about finding that sweet spot where your passions and talents, they intersect with the needs of the world.
Wow. Now all of this sounds incredible.
Yeah.
But I know what some listeners might be thinking. What if I don't even know what I'm passionate about? How do I find that thing that I want to master?
That's a great question, and it's one that the book addresses directly.
Okay, good.
It suggests looking for activities you genuinely enjoy, things that require effort and aren't directly tied to income.
So think outside the box of your career.
Yes.
Maybe it's volunteering or taking up a creative hobby or even just learning something new for the pure joy of it.
It's about exploring different avenues and paying attention to what truly sparks your interest. And you know what?
Yeah.
The book has this intriguing section on the power of what it calls useless knowledge.
Useless knowledge. Okay, now I'm hooked. Tell me more.
The author argues that sometimes the most seemingly useless subjects, like philosophy, theology, literature,
Right.
they can actually be incredibly valuable for navigating life and relationships.
Yeah, I've always been drawn to history and philosophy, even though they weren't directly related to my career path.
Yeah.
But I do think they've given me a broader perspective and a deeper understanding of human nature.
Exactly. And the book gives this fascinating example. It says that learning about epistemology,
Epistemology.
the study of how we know what we know,
Okay.
can actually make you more humble and understanding in disagreements.
Oh, wow, that's a great point. If you understand how subjective our perceptions can be,
Yeah.
you're less likely to get into those heated arguments and more likely to actually build stronger relationships.
And those strong relationships, whether at work or in our personal lives, are essential for happiness and fulfillment.
For sure.
Now, once you've identified your passions and you're on the path to mastering a skill, the book emphasizes the importance of setting goals and deadlines.
Right, because goals give us direction and deadlines create a sense of urgency.
Exactly. And the book even mentions Parkinson's law,
Okay.
which states that work expands to fill the time available for its completion.
Oh, yeah, I've heard that one.
In other words, if we don't set deadlines, we're more likely to procrastinate and never actually achieve our goals.
Oh, true.
So a practical tip for our listeners. Set goals with clear deadlines for each stage on your path to eudaimonia. It's like creating a roadmap for your journey.
I love that, a roadmap. Okay.
What else? Now, another key aspect of this journey is finding your crew, your community.
What do you mean by crew?
The book emphasizes the importance of joining groups of like-minded individuals who share your passions and support your growth.
Ah, I see. It's like finding your tribe, your support system.
Yep.
It's so much easier to stay motivated and achieve your goals when you're surrounded by people who understand and encourage you.
I mean, it's not just about receiving support.
Right.
It's also about contributing to that community and helping others achieve their goals. It's like a beautiful cycle of mutual support and growth.
You know, this is making me think about the communities that I'm a part of.
Yeah.
Are they lifting me up and inspiring me to grow, or are they holding me back? That's something we should all consider.
Absolutely. Now, as we navigate this journey towards eudaimonia, building strong relationships is crucial, especially in the workplace. And the book offers this fascinating analogy to help us understand workplace dynamics.
Oh, okay. I'm all ears for a good analogy.
It compares the workplace to a ship.
Okay.
Everyone has a role to play, and sometimes you're not the captain.
Meaning you have to learn to be a good crew member even when you're not calling the shots.
Exactly. And the book has this really insightful quote about how diligent employees can sometimes rub their employers the wrong way.
Ooh, I'm curious. What's the quote?
It says, diligent employees, when they see in their employer a man who is a little lazier than they are apt to think that they are morally superior to him. They're even inclined to point out to him the error of his ways. But an employer like a parent can do no wrong. Diligent employees must be careful.
That's a powerful reminder that we all have different perspectives and roles to play in the workplace.
Yeah.
And even when we think we know better, it's important to be respectful and understand that the person in charge has the final say.
And this isn't about blindly following orders or suppressing your ideas.
Right.
It's about finding ways to navigate these relationships with grace and wisdom. Focusing on building win-win situations where everyone feels respected and valued.
So instead of criticizing or blaming, look for solutions that benefit everyone involved.
Exactly.
That's great advice for any relationship, really.
Absolutely. But, as much as we need strong relationships to thrive, there's another side to this eudaimonia journey that we shouldn't overlook.
Oh, what's that?
The importance of learning to be comfortable being alone.
Oh, that's interesting. It seems to go against the whole idea of community and connection.
It's not about rejecting those things,
Okay.
but it's about recognizing the value of solitude.
Okay.
Time spent alone allows us to recharge, reflect, and reconnect with ourselves.
It's like hitting the reset button, giving ourselves the space to process our thoughts and emotions without outside distractions.
Exactly. And it can make us less dependent on others for our happiness and fulfillment.
I think that's a perfect segue into the next part of our deep dive, where we'll explore how learning itself can become a source of joy and satisfaction.
It's fascinating how we often view entertainment and learning as these separate activities.
It's like one is for fun and one's for work.
Right. But this book, Mature Learning, actually suggests that learning can be the ultimate form of entertainment.
Okay, now that's an idea I can get behind. Tell me more.
The book argues that the things that are truly valuable in life are the things we have to work for.
So it's not about instant gratification, but about the journey of discovery, the challenge, those aha moments we experience when we push ourselves, beyond our comfort zone.
Precisely. And the book suggests this type of learning, the kind driven by genuine curiosity and a desire to master something difficult, is incredibly rewarding.
Yeah, I can definitely relate to that. When you finally grasp a concept you've been struggling with or achieve a goal you set for yourself, there's such a huge sense of accomplishment.
And that feeling is so much more satisfying than just passively consuming entertainment, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. So instead of spending hours, scrolling through social media, maybe we should be spending that time learning a new language or diving into a challenging book.
Now you're getting it. The book even goes so far as to highlight the enduring value of universities and formal education.
Wait, really? I thought this was all about adult learning, like self-directed exploration.
It is, but the author makes this really interesting point about the unique benefits of university life, even if you don't end up pursuing a career directly related to your degree.
Oh, that's an interesting perspective. I'm curious to hear more.
Well, the book quotes this philosopher who observed that university graduates, even those who weren't like the most dedicated students,
Right.
often possess a certain something that sets them apart.
You mean like a broader perspective or a more refined way of thinking and communicating?
That's it. It's as if being immersed in a world of diverse ideas and challenging discussions, it kind of shapes you in ways you might not even realize.
Thinking back to my own university experience, sure, I learned a lot in my classes, but I think I learned even more from those late-night debates with friends discussing everything from politics to art.
Exactly. And the book suggests that even if you don't end up like directly applying the specific knowledge you gained in your career,
Right.
the experience of grappling with complex ideas and diverse perspectives, it sticks with you.
It broadens your horizons and shapes how you approach the world.
Yeah.
And speaking of expanding our horizons, the book has a whole chapter on foreign language learning.
Yes. The author is clearly passionate about languages. He emphasizes the transformative power of being able to read literature in its original language.
I can see why. There's something magical about experiencing a story through the author's intended words without the filter of translation.
And the author goes even further, arguing that reading original works actually helps you think more clearly and even improves your intelligence.
Well, you've convinced me. Time to dust off that Spanish textbook. But besides reading, what other tips does the book offer for language learning?
The author stresses the importance of focusing on reading and listening comprehension first.
So building a strong foundation before jumping into speaking and writing.
Exactly. He also encourages finding learning methods that are enjoyable and effective.
Okay.
Think watching foreign films, listening to podcasts, or even using language learning apps.
It's amazing how technology has opened up so many new avenues for learning. The book also mentions online learning, right?
It does, specifically highlighting the incredible opportunities offered by distance learning programs from top universities around the world.
Imagine taking a philosophy course from Oxford or a history course from Harvard, all from the comfort of your own home.
It's incredible, right? And the book points out that online learning can be especially beneficial for busy professionals who can't commit to traditional classroom settings.
Yeah, the flexibility and accessibility are game changers.
Oh, sure.
Now, it looks like the book also delves into some practical advice for test preparation, specifically for English proficiency exams like the TOEICs.
That's right. The author provides some really valuable tips for managing time effectively and maximizing your score.
I know so many people who get incredibly stressed out about standardized tests.
Oh, yeah.
Having a strategic approach can make all the difference.
Absolutely. And the book emphasizes focusing on the areas that will have the biggest impact on your overall score.
Working smarter, not harder, as they say.
Exactly.
Now, beyond English, the book also suggests considering learning Chinese.
It does. The author points to the growing global influence of China and the increasing demand for Chinese language skills.
It's true, learning Chinese could open up so many doors, both personally and professionally.
And he stresses the importance of choosing languages that have good learning materials and standardized tests available, setting yourself up for success from the start.
So whether it's choosing a language to learn or selecting a skill to master, there's this recurring theme of being intentional and strategic in our approach.
You're spot on. It's not just about learning for the sake of learning. It's about aligning our efforts with our goals and values.
Which brings us back to eudaimonia, right? It's about using our knowledge and skills to live a meaningful and fulfilling life.
Exactly, and the book offers some really valuable insights on how to maintain that momentum and keep learning throughout our lives.
Okay, I'm all ears. What are some of those insights?
Well, one key point is the importance of finding meaning in our work, even if it's not our dream job.
So even if we're not pursuing our passion full-time, we can still find ways to make our work more fulfilling.
Absolutely. The book suggests focusing on the aspects of our work that align with our values and strengths.
So even if you're not, say, a doctor saving lives, you might be helping customers solve problems or contributing to a team effort in a meaningful way.
Exactly. It's about finding those moments of purpose in our daily tasks.
Yeah.
And if you're feeling unfulfilled in your current work, The book suggests exploring ways to turn that sadness into joy.
That sounds like a tall order. How do you turn sadness into joy?
The book encourages finding creative outlets for your emotions. Maybe it's writing, painting, dancing, or playing music.
So channeling your energy into something positive and productive.
And who knows, you might even discover hidden talents or passions you never knew you had.
It's a reminder that there's always potential for growth and discovery no matter where we are in life.
Exactly.
Now, the book also strongly recommends reading biographies of great people.
Biographies are a fantastic way to learn from those who have achieved extraordinary things. It's like getting a glimpse into their minds and hearts, seeing how they overcame challenges and pursued their goals.
Exactly. It's like having a mentor from history guiding us on our own journey.
And it can inspire us to set our own ambitious goals and pursue them with courage and determination. Speaking of goals, the book emphasizes the importance of prioritizing self-growth.
Making time for activities that nourish our minds and souls, even if they're not directly related to work or income.
Precisely carving out time for reading, learning, exploring new hobbies, pursuing our passions. The book even suggests making the most of our weekends by focusing on what it calls non-urgent but important things.
It's a good reminder that weekends aren't just for catching up on sleep or running errands, but also a chance to invest in ourselves.
And those investments pay off in the long run, contributing to a more fulfilling and meaningful life. It's about making conscious choices about how we spend our time.
Instead of collapsing on the couch after a long week, maybe we should be using that time to learn a new skill or pursue a creative passion.
Or even just spending some quiet time in nature reflecting on your goals and values.
It's about finding what nourishes us and makes us feel alive. Now, the book also suggests one simple but powerful way to start nurturing our souls.
Oh, I'm intrigued. Tell me.
Expanding our vocabulary.
Vocabulary. Okay, I wouldn't have guessed that one. How does expanding our vocabulary nurture our souls?
Well, the author argues that learning new words opens up these new worlds of thought and expression.
It's like expanding the palette with which we paint our lives, giving us more colors and shades to work with.
Precisely, it allows us to think more deeply, communicate more effectively, and appreciate the nuances of language.
It's true. And plus,
Yeah.
who doesn't love impressing their friends with a well-placed, obscure word?
But
But all jokes aside, I can see how enriching our vocabulary can have this ripple effect on our thinking and creativity.
yeah, the real benefit is in the joy of learning and the sense of accomplishment that comes with mastering something new. And the author clearly loves a good vocabulary challenge.
He does how so?
Well, he actually includes a vocabulary competition in the book. He sees it as a fun and engaging way to test your knowledge and push yourself to learn even more.
Turning learning into a game, I love that.
Yeah.
It makes the process more enjoyable and less intimidating.
Games can be incredibly motivating.
They can.
They challenge us, they keep us engaged, and they make the learning process more fun.
Exactly.
This makes me want to create a vocabulary challenge of my own.
You should.
Maybe we could even turn it into a segment on our show.
Now there's an idea. And it aligns perfectly with the book's message, finding joy in the journey of lifelong learning.
Speaking of which, before we wrap up this section, there's something that's been on my mind.
About that.
The book doesn't explicitly say this, but if eudaimonia is about pursuing knowledge for its own sake and contributing to society, does that mean it's an ongoing journey, not a destination?
That's a really insightful question, and I think you're right. It's not like you achieve eudaimonia and then you're done.
Right.
It's a continuous process of growth, contribution, and connection.
So there's always more to learn, always ways to grow, always opportunities to make a difference.
Exactly. And what a beautiful way to think about life, wouldn't you say?
I couldn't agree more so. For our listeners who are ready to dive into this book,
Yeah.
what are some key takeaways you hope they'll ponder?
Well, first and foremost, I hope they'll embrace the idea that learning can be a source of genuine joy and fulfillment.
Not just a chore or an obligation, but something we actively seek out and enjoy.
And I hope they'll consider the 4 stages of eudaimonia as a framework for their own lives.
Starting with securing a stable income and cultivating resilience, then moving on to honing their unique skills and finally contributing to society.
Exactly. Each stage building upon the last.
And I hope they'll remember the importance of finding their community, their tribe of like-minded people who share their passions and support their growth.
Because we're not meant to walk this path alone.
Right? And maybe even challenge some conventional thinking along the way.
Like the idea that so-called useless knowledge can actually be incredibly valuable.
Yeah.
Or that sometimes the most fulfilling things in life are the ones we have to work for.
Absolutely. And finally, I hope our listeners will be inspired to take action.
Yes.
Whether it's enrolling in an online course, joining a book club, or simply making time for self-reflection and learning.
The path to eudaimonia is waiting. Are you ready to take the first step?
You know, as we've been exploring these ideas for mature learning, it strikes me how much this concept of eudaimonia resonates with something we discussed in a previous deep dive.
Oh. Which one are you thinking of?
The one on the science of happiness. Remember how we talked about the difference between hedonic happiness, that fleeting pleasure,
Right.
and eudaimonic happiness, which is about living a meaningful and purpose-driven life?
Yes, I see the connection. Eudaimonia, it's not about chasing fleeting pleasures or material possessions.
Right, it's about something much deeper. Aligning our actions with our values, pursuing our passions, and using our talents to make a positive difference in the world.
And the beauty of it is that this journey is open to anyone, regardless of their age, background, or circumstances.
Yeah, the author of Mature Learning is a great example. He didn't discover his passion for translating and writing until he was in his 40s.
And think about all the years he spent honing his skills, earning degrees, and facing rejection before achieving his dream of publishing his own work.
It's a powerful reminder that it's never too late to start learning, growing, and pursuing what sets our souls on fire.
And that the path to eudaimonia is often paved with challenges and setbacks. It's not always easy.
Right. But those challenges can make us stronger and more resilient. They can fuel our determination.
And when we finally achieve those hard-won goals, the sense of satisfaction and fulfillment is that much sweeter.
So for our listeners who might be feeling stuck or unsure where to begin on their own path to eudaimonia, what advice would you give them based on what we've learned from Mature Learning?
Well, first and foremost, don't be afraid to explore, try new things. Step outside your comfort zone and pay attention to what sparks your curiosity.
Don't expect to find your passion overnight. It's a journey of self-discovery.
And remember that learning itself can be a source of immense joy. Find ways to make it fun and engaging, whether it's joining a book club, taking an online course, or simply having thought-provoking conversations with people who challenge you.
Yeah, those conversations can be so enriching. They push us to think differently and see the world from new perspectives.
And don't underestimate the power of setting clear goals and deadlines. It helps us stay focused and motivated.
It's like having a roadmap for your journey.
And remember to surround yourself with a supportive community, a tribe of like-minded individuals who share your passion for growth.
Because as we've seen, the journey to eudaimonia is much more enjoyable when you have a crew to cheer you on along the way.
And perhaps most importantly, never stop believing in your own potential. You have within you the capacity to create a life that is both meaningful and fulfilling.
So to our listeners, I say go out there, embrace the journey, and never stop learning and growing.
The world is waiting for your unique contributions.
That's it for this deep dive into eudaimonia. We hope you found it insightful and inspiring.
Until next time, keep diving deep.